My name is Tessa Kane, and I'm 34. I sat in a small conference room in a Lancaster law office staring at my younger brother, Logan. He slid a thick folder toward me and smiled like the ending was already written. "All legal," he said. "The farmhouse, the land, the furniture, everything Grandpa owns is mine." Mom and Dad sat behind him, nodding along. Mom held a tissue. Dad adjusted his glasses. "We've given you every opportunity, Tessa," he said. "You've had more than enough chances." I didn't argue. I kept my hands folded in my lap and felt 8 months of slow exile settle in my chest. Logan talked about market value and quick sales, about fairness that sounded like my erasure. Grandpa Walter had been quiet in the corner, cane between his knees. Then he leaned forward and set his hand on the table. "I signed the original documents," he said, eyes on Logan. "That could not have happened." The silence yanked me back to October, when Walter called and asked me to come to the farmhouse. The maples along the road were turning. He met me on the porch, then led me inside and opened a plain manila folder by the fireplace. "Years ago, I set up an irrevocable trust," he told me. "The farmhouse, the acres, the whole collection goes to you. Keep it together." I promised him, because those pieces were his life's work, and because he'd taught me how to restore them without breaking their story. As I drove away, Logan's black pickup rolled into the gravel. He waved, then stopped by an open window, head tilted, listening. I told myself it meant nothing. Logan's distance hardened into choreography. At Sunday dinners, he'd wait until the bulls made their slow laps, then toss out some old failure for my parents to catch. "Remember when Tessa maxed out that card on inventory?" he'd say, smiling at my dad, Dean. Dean would reach for his glasses. My mom, Marla, would supply the late-night details, as if my early scramble were happening again. When I reminded them I'd paid everything back, Logan only chuckled. Numbers always had excuses. Hugs got shorter. Calls went to voicemail. Even Callie, my Thursday coffee ritual since high school, started asking careful questions about whether the shop was okay. She finally admitted Logan had been telling people he was worried I couldn't handle anything big. In Lancaster, rumors travel on familiar roads. Clients hesitated. A restoration commission vanished with a polite email. A collector who used to text me photos of dovetails stopped replying. At the winter preview fair, I confessed the whole mess to Grant Sloan, another dealer. He listened, then said, "Facts beat fog. Build your file." So I did. I drove to the farmhouse whenever the roads were clear, photographed each piece, and captured maker's marks and hidden notes Walter had tucked under drawers. I scanned the trust pages from his manila folder and saved them where Logan couldn't reach. Sales kept slipping, so I took a short loan to cover payroll and heat. Grant helped me push listings online, beyond the reach of local whispers. In early February, attorney Martin Hale called. "Your family requested a meeting about the estate," he said. "Your grandfather will attend. Please come." That night, snow ticking against my window, I packed my notebook and the scan like armor. In Martin Hale's conference room, Logan fanned his prints across the table. "Updated directives," he said, tapping signatures and dates. Marla nodded, tissue ready. Dean watched me like I'd already failed. "May I see that?" Walter asked. Martin slid the packet over. My grandfather read like he checked joinery. Slow, exact. Then he lifted his eyes. "I created an irrevocable trust years ago," he said. "These changes can't exist." Logan's smile twitched. Martin opened his safe and laid out the original file. Yellowed pages, notary seals, Walter's bold signature. He read the clause aloud. Sole beneficiary, preservation instructions, no amendments without Walter present and witnessed. They matched the scan. Marla's breath hitched. Dean took off his glasses and cleaned them too hard. Logan's fingers drummed once, then stopped. "I needed it sold," he said, voice scraping. "Loans, bad bets. I thought I could fix it." He still wouldn't look at Walter. Martin's voice turned brisk. "The trust stands. Any misleading documents will be handled separately." He asked what I wanted. I didn't glance at my parents. "I want what Walter intended," I said, "and I want this to end for good." Outside, snow powdered the lot. Marla reached for my sleeve, then let her hand fall. Dean said my name like a question. I kept walking. By March, the transfer was complete. I moved into the farmhouse, backed up my catalog and photos, and built an online archive for every piece, history, and repairs. Grant helped me ship safely and sell to people who valued the work. The quiet didn't erase the loss, but it gave me room to keep faith with the one person who never traded me for a rumor.